Hello everyone, how are you doing? Today we will watch a short recap of the movie Saving Private Ryan. An old man with a large family comes to the cemetery of American soldiers. Memories take him to the distant past, to the beginning of the Normandy landings in 1944. American soldiers, having landed on the beach, find themselves in hell. German machine gunners and mortars shoot them from the steep shore. But Captain John Miller, the commander of the Rangers, manages to gather the survivors and break through the German defense line. One of the department's employees discovers that the Ryan family will receive 3 notices at once in one day, since 2 brothers died in one battle during the Normandy landings, and another died around the same time in battles in the Pacific. To alleviate the pain of losing her dead sons, Commander General George Marshall orders her last surviving son, Private Paratrooper James Francis Ryan, who landed behind enemy lines, to be sent home. Now they are fighting behind the front line. Many of them have been thrown far from the planned landing zones, and contact with them has been lost. Captain John Miller receives orders to find Ryan and bring him to headquarters. The captain recruits a detachment from the soldiers of his company, led by Sergeant Michael Horvath, an experienced fighter with whom they have already fought in North Africa and Italy. Since there is no one in the detachment who knows French and German, Miller takes with him the staff clerk, Corporal Timothy Upham, who has never participated in battle. In the first town where the squad comes in search of Ryan, Private Adrian Caparzo is killed by a sniper's bullet. Among the paratroopers surrounded in the city, Miller finds a soldier named Ryan, but he turns out to be only the namesake of the wanted man. Miller's squad finds the crashed glider. Ryan is also not among the wounded and killed. Miller questions soldiers from a passing column. Among them is Ryan's shell-shocked fellow soldier, who saw how a certain officer took Ryan and other soldiers to the city of Ramil to guard a strategically important bridge. On the way to the city, Miller's platoon stumbles upon a German radar and machine gun. Fearing for the lives of those who would follow this road later, Miller orders his squad to destroy the enemy machine gun emplacement and personally leads the attack. The machine gun crew is destroyed, but medic Irwin is mortally wounded and dies a few minutes later. Miller forces a captured German to dig a grave for himself and his dead comrades. The German desperately tries to save his life, shouting out of order English words and even trying to sing the American anthem. Then he tries in German to say that he is not to blame for the death of the doctor. Upham stands up for him. Miller releases the German without explanation. Private Richard Rabin is indignant and refuses to further carry out Miller's orders, rushing to leave. Sergeant Horvath points a gun at Rabin. Miller unexpectedly diffuses the situation by explaining his action. He says that before the war he was a schoolteacher and that the war changed him too much. He says that with each new person killed, he finds himself further and further from home. He only wants to carry out the order and will be glad if this earns him the right to return home. He will not put Rabin on trial and will even help him arrange a transfer if he so wants. Rabin, seeing how his comrades are burying the body of the deceased Wade, decides to stay. Miller's men meet with the paratroopers who blew up the armored personnel carrier, and Private Ryan is among them. He takes them to Ramil, but categorically refuses to return to the rear because he cannot abandon his friends in the face of danger. Miller does not feel right to insist, but at Horvath's suggestion, he decides to lead and organize the defense of the bridge. So a small group of American soldiers ambush the Germans. A few hours later, more than 50 German infantry, accompanied by 2 Tigers, 2 Marder self-propelled guns, and 2 armored personnel carriers, approach the bridge. During the battle, almost all the defenders of the bridge die. However, they manage to inflict heavy losses on the enemy, as well as disable one of the Tigers and almost all light equipment. The surviving American soldiers retreat behind the bridge, intending to blow it up, but a fragment of a tank shell breaks the wire going to the fuse, and no explosion occurs. Frightened, Upham sees from cover how the German, whom they left alive in the morning, kills a soldier from Ryan's unit with a shot in the back and mows down Captain Miller with a bullet. The wounded Miller, leaning against a destroyed car, uses his last strength to fire a pistol at a German tank approaching him. Suddenly, the tank explodes, It is hit by a rocket from a Mustang plane that arrives to the rescue. American soldiers rush across the bridge to the other side. Upham jumps out of the crater and stops a group of Germans, where the very one to whom he and the captain gave life was. The German recognizes and joyfully greets Upham, but he, having made up his mind, kills him in front of the other prisoners. The dying captain whispers to the surviving Ryan, "James, be worthy of this." The medic brought by Ryan is already powerless to help him. It turns out that the old man at the beginning of the film is Ryan, who came to the grave of his savior, Captain Miller. Fighting back tears, Ryan whispers that he tried his best to live a decent life and justify all the sacrifices that the captain and his squad endured to save him, a simple private in the American Army. This is how this film ends. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel. There will be many more new videos. See you.